This is Google.com, Bible Gateway, Job 40, King James Version. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer yet twice, but I will proceed no further. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind, and said, Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me, that thou mayest be righteous? Hast thou an arm like God, or canst thou thunder with a voice like him? Deck thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold every one that is proud, and abase him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. Then will I also confess unto thee that thine own right hand can save thee. Behold now, Behemoth, which I made with thee, he eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in his navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees, in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willow of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes. His nose pierceth through snares. Study Bible. Job humbles himself before the Lord. Then adorn yourself with majesty and splendor, and clothe yourself with honor and glory. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look on every proud man, and bring him low. Look on every proud man, and humble him. Trample the wicked where they stand. Berean Study Bible. Job 4:9. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. Indeed, the evil man is spared from the day of calamity, delivered from the day of wrath. That was Job 130. Isaiah 2:12. For the day of the Lord of hosts will come against all the proud and lofty, against all that is exalted, it will be humbled. Isaiah 22:19. I will depose you from office, and you will be ousted from your position. Isaiah 23:9. The Lord of hosts planned it, to defile all its glorious beauty, to disgrace all the renowned of the earth. Isaiah 25:11. He will spread out of his hands within it, as a swimmer spreads his hands to swim. His pride will be brought low, despite the cleverness of his hands. Isaiah 26:5. For he has humbled those who dwell on high. He lays the lofty city low. He brings it down to the ground. He casts it into the dust. Isaiah 42:25. So he poured out on them his furious anger and the fierceness of battle. It enveloped them in flames, but they did not understand. It consumed them, but they did not take it to heart. Jeremiah 48:29. We have heard of Moab's pride, his exceeding pride and conceit, his proud arrogance and haughtiness of heart. Daniel 4:24. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree that the Most High has issued against my lord the king. Daniel 4:37. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, for all his works are true, and all his ways are just. And those who walk in pride, he is able to humble. 5:20, Daniel. But when his heart was exalted and his spirit hardened in pride, he was deposed from his royal throne, and his glory was taken from him. Who can withstand his indignation? Who can endure his burning anger? His wrath is poured out like fire. Even rocks are shattered before him. That was Nahum 1:6. I think that's how it said. Nahum 1:8. But with an overflowing flood, he will make an end of Nineveh and pursue his enemies into darkness. And the reason I looked this whole thing up was, I'll get back to that. Cast abroad the rage of your wrath, and behold everyone that is proud, and abase him. That's exactly why. That was the scripture I was looking up. Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Job 27:22. For God shall cast upon him, and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Deuteronomy 32:22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Behold, Exodus 9:16 and 17. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. Exodus 15:6. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. Exodus 18:11. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. Unleash, verb, imperative masculine. To be dispersed or scattered. The fury, feminine, plural construct, overflow, arrogance, fury. Of your wrath, masculine, singular construct, second person, masculine. The nose, face, a person. Look on, every, the whole, all, any. Proud man, lofty, arrogant, and bring him low. To be or become low, to be abased. Here it is again, the reason for this whole video. Verse 11. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath. Give vent, i.e., to thy anger against the wicked, and let it be seen what thou canst do in the way of restraining evil and punishing transgressors. Behold, every one that is proud, and abase him. If my moral government does not satisfy thee, improve upon it. Put down those wicked ones whom thou sayest that I allow to prosper. Job 24:23. Abase them in the dust. Do what thou accusest them of not doing. Then wilt thou have established something of a claim to enter into controversy with me. Matthew Henry Commentary 40:6-14. Those who profit by what they have heard from God shall hear more from him, and those who are truly convinced of sin yet need to be more thoroughly convinced and more humbled. No doubt God, and he only, has power to humble and bring down proud men. He has wisdom to know when and how to do it. And it is not for us to teach him how to govern the world. Our hands cannot save us by recommending us to God's grace, much less rescuing us from his justice. And therefore into his hand we must commit ourselves. The renewal of a believer proceeds in the same way of conviction, humbling, and watchfulness against remaining sin as his first conversion. When convinced of many evils in our conduct, we still need convincing of many more. Job 40:11 commentaries. Abase abroad, anger. I don't know. I still think that verse is giving us the right to be angry. I want to read it one more time. Verse 11. This is Job, verse 11 and 12. And then Job 24:23. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath. Give vent to thy anger against the wicked, and let it be seen what thou canst do in the way of restraining evil and punishing transgressors. Behold, every one that is proud, and abase him. If my moral government does not satisfy thee, improve upon it. Put down those whom thou sayest that I allow to prosper. Abase them in the dust. Do what thou accusest me of not of doing. Then wilt thou have established something of a claim to enter into controversy with me. You see, it's almost like the government is talking to us, but if that's God talking to us, I don't think that the government we have today, it has nothing to do with God, and they will explicitly say they have nothing to do with God. They are the government God. It's a different religion. The government is a religion. Their church is the church of authority. You go to church, it's the schools. You go to school for 13 years so that you can learn to respect authority. And then you get out of school, and if you don't respect that authority, you end up in jail or prison or dead. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Thank you for tuning in.